So we pushed that tempo ourselves with 2 workers. We were very committed to that. If we have made a commitment for delivery, we must meet it. Most entrepreneurs fail not because they cannot manufacture something or make a good product. They don't understand the difference between cash flow and profit. There's no point in selling what I make. I should make what I can sell.
Yes.
That is the important aspect.
Hello and welcome to our next episode of Pathfinders, the podcast series where we bring success stories from different businesses. And today it is a great pleasure for me to be able to meet the one and only Mr. Mukesh Malhotra, the chairman, Weikfield. Over 50 years of his professional experience in having successfully led Weikfield to newer heights is what we are trying to condense into our episode today. I really look forward to something absolutely enriching in this episode. So go ahead and enjoy. Thank you very much, sir, for sparing time for us. And there are so many interesting anecdotes.
It's always a pleasure to speak to you and meet with you. And I hope that I'll do justice to whatever questions you ask. I'll do my best.
I look forward to an enriching session, sir.
Thank you.
I want to start with that specific phrase which talks about the afternoon siesta, which becomes a really important milestone for an entrepreneur, whereby it's not only the business that is growing and flourishing, but the afternoon siesta, which is a representation of a lot of other things that the business achieves. Is it still equally important, sir?
Yeah, I think that is equally important, because unless you recharge yourself for the day, you don't retain the energy to sort of go on for the whole day. So that's certainly still very much part of my days. To go home, have lunch, rest for 20 minutes to 25 minutes, no more than that, and then come back to work.
Sir, it is decade after decade of growing the business and being at the front yourself. When you look at the youngsters today, what is it that impresses you the most when you look at a young entrepreneur?
Well, their dedication is equally good, and they're very open to using technology, in making sure that they can. In fact, that is something that I feel handicapped. That at my age, I'm 72 now, and it takes me time to understand technology, So, and applying of technology, whereas these young guys, they're able to use technology like they were born with it, and that is very, very impressive. The people who go in to become entrepreneurs, they have good command over their subject, over their technology, over their, practical aspects of their product and things like that.
Right.
Some amount of, I think, most entrepreneurs fail not because they cannot manufacture something or make a good product, but because they're not able to sell it. That is where most of the, so I am a very good engineer. I make a very good product, and I spend all my time doing that. And then I have made the product, but I don't know how to sell the product. I don't know whom to go to buy the product, how to market it, how to, find the clients, and how to be able to do this thing.
Sir, 13th April is such an important date for you. Then it was set up, and year after year after year, it continued to grow. But sitting here in 2024, if we are to look at what was it like in mid-50s, it is difficult to imagine where will Weikfield reach.
So there totally.
So अभी बताएं कि अगर हम 2024 में, if we talk about not next 70 years, next 20 years, what is that one big challenge you think Weikfield will overcome in next 20 years to take it to the next?
The challenges lie in various fields. What keeps me awake at night is in various areas. The rise and the growth of quick marketing and e-marketing, these blinkits and things that deliver to you in 10 minutes and 20 minutes and all that.
Yeah.
And the direct e-marketing or e-commerce channels that have come up.
Yeah.
And the rise of the modern trade. Modern trade be these large, big supermarkets, chains which are there.
Yes.
So that has changed the distribution landscape completely from, I would say, by 180 degrees. Today, with the growth of the supermarkets and modern trade, and they can shut you out or they can let you in.
Right.
And they have become actually real estate renters. They calculate this thing on per square foot. Okay, per square foot मेरा कितना revenue आ रहा है?
Yield.
अगर आपके प्रोडक्ट से उनके वो जो minimum square footage के ऊपर आपका yield नहीं आ रहा है, they will delist you. All right. Firstly, they charge you to list your product.
Yes.
Then they can delist you if you don't sell enough.
Right.
So the power equation has changed substantially.
Yeah.
And it is more and more growing towards. So you are forced to do things because you need to be in those markets, in those supermarkets, and to do that you have to sacrifice a fair amount of your margin.
Right. Right.
And in fact, our modern trade business is less profitable than our GT business, general trade business.
Yeah.
And these quick delivery platforms have a completely different supply chain management system.
Right.
So that is another thing that is a bit of a challenge for us too. But those are, with technology, we will certainly overcome them.
Yeah.
So on that front is one thing. The other side is the fact that more and more people are, two people means husband and wife are working.
Yeah.
So this thing towards convenience foods and ready-to-eat foods and ready-to-eat products is becoming more and more important.
Yeah.
And so far, we have not been in that part of the business, but we have already 2 years ago, we started with our ready-to-eat custard, and we are going into ready-to-eat jellies and various other ready-to-eat products. So whole technology, the rate of change in every aspect of our business is so fast these days, that one has to be very agile and very quick. And I think that is where medium-sized companies like ours, where decision-making is a matter of days and not weeks and months, we kind of can afford. Large companies by their very nature, they are like huge ships, so to make them turn, it takes time. A small boat can weave its way through and reach much faster. In our management, we are now looking at people of the age between 30 and 40 rather than 45 and 55. Because we need people who are young, who can understand the trends of the youth and of tomorrow, who are savvy with technology,
Who can relate to it.
and relate to technology, and who can then navigate through these challenges faster. So that is what I think we are doing. In fact, our new CEO, who is joining us next month, is only 41 years of age.
Okay.
And so, that is something we're doing too, as a conscious decision to be able to meet the challenges of tomorrow.
So the topic of people brings me to the next one, that in the last few decades, there have been people associated with Weikfield whose kids also joined Weikfield, and they have happily continued to be there.
We consider ourselves very, very fortunate and proud that not only do we have third generation workers, people of the same family,
Right.
like a third generation coming in and working with Weikfield,
Yes.
because of the fact that I think we have a caring attitude. We do not treat workers as just machines. We treat them as human beings,
Yeah.
and that also sort of tells you why in 68 and a half years of our existence,
Yes.
touch wood, we have not had a single day of strike. We have not had a single day of industrial action in our company, because we have always been open. When I joined the business in 1973, the first day, literally the first day, I was given a small cabin over there. I just sat down at 9:30. My father called me 5 minutes later. He says, "Come and see me." I said, "Sure." He was the chairman.
Yeah.
I went and he said, "Listen, Tony, you are now coming into business.
Yes.
I want to tell you 2 or 3 things which are very important,
Okay.
and which you have to keep in mind if you have to be here. Number 1, this is business. Business में profit भी होता है, loss भी होता है. अगर तुम्हारे में loss सहने की और खाने की शक्ति नहीं है, तो तुम नौकरी करो. तुमको हर मंथ अपना सैलरी आ जाएगा,
Right.
you will be okay. उसमें कोई लॉस नहीं, कोई प्रॉफिट नहीं. You know what you are getting, you can this thing. But in business, you can make money and you can lose money. So the first thing is you have to be very clear in your mind that I have the ability to bear a loss and come back.
Yes.
All right, and spring back.
Right.
Number 2, he said, just as you need money to pay your workers and your suppliers, your supplier also needs money to pay his workers and his suppliers.
Correct.
So you have to be a good paymaster. In fact, the system he had created was that if suppose I had 30 days terms with you,
Right.
goods come in on say 10th of the month,
Right.
I have to pay you by the 10th of next month.
Right.
That is
Right.
so immediately the whatever came in would go to the laboratory for testing.
Right.
That within 24 to 48 hours the test result would come. If the test results are okay, means the goods are okay, quality is okay, and the quantity is okay. Obviously, okay, they have billed you for 100 kilos and 100 kilos has come and 100 kilos is okay. So if everything is okay,
check that. Yeah.
the check should be made on that day of 7th of the month of the next month.
Okay.
And on the 7th of the next month, on the envelope the date would be written 7th of December, for example.
Yeah.
And every morning I used to come to my office. I used to have this bunch of checks. उस दिन का check उठाने का और post कर देने का. So that the supplier gets his money on the date. You remember I told you about Jagdish Bhai?
Yes.
That was our system which he had created.
3 दिन पहले
भेजने का था क्या? Because those everything was by mail, ना?
by post.
तो 2-3 दिन लगते थे.
Right.
अभी किसी को एक दिन लेट मिल गया तो nobody is going to fight.
Yeah.
Nobody is going to shout कि आपका 10 को था 11 को आप मेरे को मिला.
Yeah.
So we had that system of
but that is reflection of sincerity.
So that was one thing. And the third most important thing he said is keep your door open. Here in Weikfield, we are willing to discuss any economic problem, any monetary issue, any other, except for disciplinary matters where we are the zero tolerance. Everything else is negotiable. And keep your eyes that your workers, your staff, they are human beings. And if they have a problem, they should be able to come to you anytime. And that policy we kept right from the beginning. My door is always open. Anyone can walk in and talk to me. My brother's door is always open. Anyone can come in. And that is why before things became, issues for strike or for industrial action, we would always have resolved that problem of the workers or of the people, so that it was resolved amicably, sometimes with a little bit of damdati also. I mean, natural life is not this. But not to allow it to come to a point where it becomes an ego issue towards becoming a strike and all that. So that is, I think, and if you see our 5 values is, being caring is one of the values that we really are proud of. Apart from
कितनी सारी companies ऐसी हैं who have published the values on their websites, but that is only for academic interest as a formality. But it is practical.
No, we like to live our values, because otherwise there's no point. Then it took us a very long time to be able to iterate and put them down on paper, that what our values are and what we would like them, how we would like to, sort of live with. We walk the talk.
Yeah. Actually, 2 places which I think, 2 physical places which have played a very important role in making Weikfield what it is today. One of them is 116 Koregaon Park, and the second one is that Castrol Lubrication का जो office है in Bombay Ballard Estate. आप कभी जाते हैं वहाँ पर Ballard Estate के रास्ते में कभी दिखाते हैं?
तो देखते हैं, definitely देखते हैं. In fact, there is a furniture shop over there now. Okay. Which is very popular. And when I was, my wife and I had gone to Bombay looking for some furniture. We actually went to that shop in that building. And I told my wife that, see, this is Weikfield House. Which is how Weikfield got its name.
Yes.
I mean, that's definitely. And 116 Koregaon Park, of course, is the house where we lived, where we were brought up. I was 3 years of age when we shifted to that house. And our factory was there for almost 5 years before it shifted to this particular location. And this also, then we converted this land to IT park and hotels. And we shifted the factory to Lonikan and to Nalagarh in the north.
And you are in Forest Park now.
I live in Forest Park.
That
I shifted out in 91. Since 91, I've been living in Forest Park, because the Koregaon Park house, we were a joint family, so there was too many people. Some people had to start living on their own.
So abhi 116 who is there?
My uncle just passed away. Uncle and aunt, they passed away. So right now it's empty. We applied to, because that house is now more than 60 years old. So we need to demolish that old building and rebuild newer thing, because it's in bad shape, in the sense, over the years things get, so we are now planning to demolish it, and so we'll sought permission of the collector to do that. Once we get the permission, then we'll be demolishing and rebuilding over there. And I hope to go back and live there also.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
You will go back there?
I'll go back. It is a sort of a house that we all have an emotional attachment.
Yes. It was so profound absolutely enriching that Mr. Malhotra shared with us his pearls of wisdom. And here are my 3 key takeaways. Number one, as he mentioned, that in business, if you are aiming for profit, you must also prepare for losses. Otherwise, go and find a job. Number two, keep your doors open all the time. In essence, be accessible, be likable, so that people find it easy to do business with you. And number three, be a good paymaster. That means that any dues towards your creditors should be promptly addressed. That will give you the credibility and, in essence, trustworthiness. People will find it easier to do business with you. I hope you found this episode as enriching as I found it to be, and having met Mr. Malhotra personally really was a great learning experience for me. We will keep bringing to you episode after episode of Pathfinders, which will include growth stories and success stories from different businesses. Until next week, keep scaling up.